Since I started this channel, I have never reviewed any mics, which isn't surprising since I don't tend to play a lot of multiplayer games. But lately, I've been playing a lot of Arc Raiders, and communication is vital in that game. It is quite convenient that I was approached by the people from FIFINE, asking me if I wanted to test their AM8 Ampligame Microphone. Let's check how it works both as a general use mic and for gaming purposes. So for starters, I must say that FIFINE provided me with the microphone for the review and to keep for myself. They did not give me any indications whatsoever on what I can or cannot say, and I was very clear with them that I will give my own opinion. The Ampligame AM8 is marketed as a low-budget, cost-effective microphone. As of this review, the price is £59 if you're in the UK, or according to the website, just £43 if you're in the US. I assume it's giving me the American price in pounds because of my location. For that price, you get a microphone that includes the pop filter, a bass stand, a USB cable, which by the way has a hybrid USB-C or USB connection to your computer, a headphones jack for monitoring, and a mic that includes a gain knob, headphones volume control, a mute button, and a nice RGB light, which frankly is quite good for the price, assuming the microphone sounds good, right? Of course, you could buy other optional elements like a boom arm or a mixer, headsets, etc. The AM8 is a dynamic microphone as opposed to a condenser microphone. You probably want a dynamic one, otherwise you will recall sound from too many directions. So regarding the installation, it's a no-brainer. You connect it to your USB port, and if it doesn't sound already, just go to your sound settings and in the input section make sure the FIFINE is selected. It might not happen automatically, especially if you have other mics enabled as I do. I think it's a very nice touch that it has an XLR input. You will only need that if you have an audio interface, but if you do, or if you're planning to improve your setup by getting one in the future, then this allows you to pace up your growth. If you have to buy both an audio interface and a dedicated XLR mic, it might be a bit expensive. But with this microphone, you can keep on using it until you get a much more expensive replacement, or just keep this as a backup. So I think it's a really practical product because of that. The gain knob is also a very nice touch. I own another well-regarded budget mic, but it doesn't have a gain control. It's very useful to have one to avoid having to bring a window slider onto your screen every time you want to tweak your input gain. The mute button is also appreciated. I'm not sure I like that it's a capacitive sensor, because I muted it by accident while repositioning the mic, but it's also useful, and again, something that my other microphone doesn't have. Regarding the RGB lights, it's nice to have the option. If you don't like it, you just long press the button that controls the colors and it will turn it off. And if you want it on, there's a nice range of colors and some animated options too. I dare say no matter the color palette in your desk, you will probably find one that works for you. Even flat white is there. Now, as for the best position to use for this mic, obviously you want the front or flat side of the pop filter pointing straight at you. In my opinion, the closer the better the sound, which might explain why some people will opt for the boom arm. I can test at different distances for you to check that out, and I can compare the dry sound with my other mic, the Tonor TC30, which is also cheap but good quality. This is a normal distance test to the Tonor microphone. This is my normal sitting distance. This is a normal distance test to the FIFINE microphone. This is my normal sitting distance. This is a close distance test to the Tonor microphone. This is closer than normal. This is a close distance test to the FIFINE microphone. This is closer than normal. This is a far distance test to the Tonor microphone. This is farther away than normal. This is a far distance test to the FIFINE microphone. This is farther away than normal. And also in a natural position, crank up or down the gain knob. Maximum gain. I can lower the gain, lower the gain, lower the gain, lower the gain. I can up the gain, up the gain, up the gain, up the gain, up the gain. So that's maximum gain again. Both microphones seem to perform quite well. As I said before, a closer sound gives you more of the podcast sound, and of course, for my videos, I also apply some nice compression and EQ to get a better sound anyway. But these tests were dry so that you could hear the real deal. Now, it's sold as a gaming microphone. Does it perform well in-game? Well, if you play in the cloud as we do in this channel, it's not easy to know for starters. With cloud gaming, you might not be sure how your sound is being streamed. Even if you test and monitor the sound from your system, that doesn't guarantee that the mic is working properly with GeForce Now, right? Well, I found a method that works well for that. First of all, make sure your mic is set as the default input method in your system. Not that many games have in-game monitoring of your audio, but I found a trick that works well within Counter-Strike 2, and since it's a free game, anyone can use it for testing purposes. So run Counter-Strike 2 from GeForce Now, and as it starts running, go to your GeForce Now overlay with Ctrl-G to make sure your mic is enabled. I believe Ctrl-M is the shortcut to enable or disable the microphone. Then inside CS2, if you go to the settings, you will see it's using the default device. That would be true for almost every game. So let's go into a practice level with bots and bring up the in-game console for commands. If you're not sure what your console shortcut is, you can find it in your game settings. Then type voice loopback 1. That will allow you to hear your own microphone when you press the button to chat. Testing. Testing the voice chat. Testing the voice chat.
That makes 2 left.
If you want to disable it, just type voice loopback 0. Now you should have a strong idea on how your sound is for other players when you use GeForce Now. So then I did some quick tests in Arc Raiders, and the other players seemed to listen to me fine, without me having to hunch over the mic or anything like that, just playing with my natural posture. Hello there.
Hello.
Hey, hi there, mate. What's up?
You need something?
Well, actually I need to destroy a snitch to get its scanner.
Okay, let's go. I see one.
Yeah, that's the one I was hunting.
Are you done?
That's awesome. Thanks so much, mate.
You're welcome.
So with all that said, what do I think about it? Well, I think it's a great microphone. It gives you a nice natural sound with literally no effort on your side. And frankly, to get something that is much better to the point that you will really notice the difference, you are going to have to spend quite a lot of money. And make sure you own a proper audio interface to control that expensive one too. It's actually a very similar sound quality than my Tonor TC30, but with the quality of life features like the gain knob, the XLR connection, mute button, etc. that the Tonor doesn't have. So I think I have to give an edge to the FIFINE. Also, the tripod for the Tonor uses a lot of desk space, whereas the FIFINE has a very low profile in my desk and it's harder to bump it accidentally. So yeah, the FIFINE Ampligame AM8 is not going to turn your system into a professional podcast setup or anything like that, but the cost quality ratio is really high here. You're getting a lot of usability for the little amount you're paying. The only thing that really qualifies it as a gaming mic is the price and the RGB lights, but I think it's a great product and I will probably keep on using it for the time being. And that's all for now, just a short product review of this nice little microphone. I'll leave some links in the description in case you want to get it. No affiliate links or anything like that, just for your own convenience. I hope you found that interesting. If you did, feel free to click like and subscribe to the channel. But even if you don't, thanks for watching and enjoy your gaming in a relaxed setting.